He wishes for the Creator to help them because this will bring more contentment above than from his own work. For this reason he prays for the collective, that the Creator will help the entire collective and will give them that feeling that they receive satisfaction from being able to bestow upon the Creator to bring him contentment. Question for the active workshop: what is the prayer we want to enter the lesson with? What is the prayer we want to enter the lesson with? Now, that's all we need. Connection. Thank you and then intune to connect and to embrace our friends' feelings. And just to pay attention more to to how they feel and what they need. And just to as much as I can, because I'm in and out. I'm not going to be focusing for the whole time, but as much as we can, just really for us to unite and really know each other, know what we need. Also with a deep gratitude to AR and all his guidance and all the inspiration that he gives us with his answers, and also for the friends who are inspiring too with all their questions, and just to gratitude for that, and for soldiers too, our heroes in Israel, all the spiritual warriors, all the good guys who fight for something that's something good. Can you imagine? We have giants like RAV, who has been doing it for 40 years, so have 30 years. My goodness, Jill, it actually is even more than Z from what understood. You know the guy who WS with him almost from the start when he opened before he even opened the center. Jill had invited him to his kind of center of study. He thought something different, but he brought him in and never left him with such a dedication. It's so beautiful. You saw what appeared on your screen. Yeah, how a hand do this, the hot scum. Hi is a trusted partner for your something happen. Yes, SCE now to get pre-qualified in seconds. I can only. I'm sorry, what else do I need to do something else? What else can I do? Maybe timeout or something. Preview it in over 100 frames. And in a couple of days you're going to receive your photo in a beautiful, so you're just doing that in front of the screen, and it makes that yes, something happened. And Marina and Karen saw it. Hi, didn't you saw the fireworks behind you? The fireworks, I do you. That's really funny. I have to leave at 5:30. I have another meeting, but I'll be here. JN Takeoff. Are we hearing your TV prayer of their friends? Creator, thank you for calling us to come closer to you. We ask that you unite our hearts into one desire to bestow contentment, to let us act like you, not for ourselves, but for the benefit of others, in order to fulfill your plan of creation. Creator, help us become incorporated in the hearts of our friends, and together we will search for the quality of love and bestow. May the prayer of all the friends be accepted by you. Amen. Esther, if you have to leave at 5:30, what time is it by you? Now I muted. Sorry, yeah, 5 o'clock in half an hour. Love, see you half hour here. Yeah, right. I know you're 3 hours ahead and I finish at 11. Dirty, there's an advantage in that, cause it's right in the middle of dinner time and everything. Are you kidding? 5:00 is good. Why you think I sleep on so much of there? Shalom, we are reading in the writings of Rash Volume 2, page 1135 in the Hebrew edition. The article, what is the children of and Ish did not want to receive the Torah in the work. You find the material in group info and the system. You can also ask questions through the websites. Anyone ask a website, anyone asking a question here. The study hall is asked to stand up, hold the mic close to his mouth and speak loudly. Clearly is the children of and Israel did not want to receive the Torah in the work written in the Creator wanted to give the to Israel and invited the children of Is, and they did not accept it as it is written. The Lord came from sea and dawned on them. For an S, meaning that they did not want to receive it. He went to the children of Ishma, and they did not want to receive it as it is written, appeared from Mount, since they did not want. He returned to Israel. It is said in the Surah Arabi, Shimon said to him this question is settled. The Lord came from Sinai, and from sin he came, and was revealed to them, and dawned on them. From se means that from what the dwellers of said, they did not want to receive from this. It's shone for Israel, and added to them much light and love. Likewise he appeared, and shone to Israel from Mount Pan, from what the dwellers of Pan said that they did not want to receive from. This extra love and the illumination were added to Israel as it should be. We should understand why it says that. Because the children of and Ishmael declined to receive the Torah, it added extra love and illumination to Israel. It seems as though no one wanted to receive the Torah, and only Israel saved today, and this is why he shone for Israel and added more light to them. Seems that otherwise the additional love and illumination would be missing from Israel. In the corporal world, we can say that sometimes a person wants to give to someone something nice, but there is no one who wants to receive. This pains the person, therefore someone feels sorry for him and accepts it, and then the person loves the person who did him a favor by accepting that thing. How can such a thing be said with regard to their Creator, that the extra love and illumination that the Creator gives to Israel is because the children of and Ish did not want to receive the Torah, while Israel did receive it. And to understand this in the work, we must remember that in the work, man himself is a small world, as it is written in the Saw that man consists of all 70 nations, and contains the quality of is the quality of Ishmael as well as the quality of Israel. As we learn, the quality of Israel is an exile under the governance of the 70 nations of the world, which are generally called will to receive for oneself, while Israel are called a desire to bestow upon the Creator. It is known that there are two discernments: one, the purpose of creation, which is to do good to his creations, namely for the creatures to receive delight and pleasure, and the Creator's desire to bestow created in the creatures. My desire to receive delight and pleasure, meaning that whatever the created beings sees that there is something to enjoy and immediately yearns to receive the pleasure. This is called the vessel that the Creator created, as it's written, which God has created the correction of creation. However, there is the matter of the correction of creation, meaning that in order to prevent the shame, correction took place where it is impossible to receive with the vessel that the Creator created, and which is called the will to receive for oneself. Rather, men must make a new vessel called a desire to bestow, like the Creator, whose desire is to bestow upon his creations. Likewise, the creatures must make this vessel, or the delight and pleasure that the Creator wants to impart upon his creations, lie under concealment and hiding. This is the meaning of the words which God has created, meaning the will to receive, to do, meaning what the creatures must do, which is the desire to bestow, which is absent in the creatures, and they must make it so they will have a desire to bestow. We should ask, how is it possible to do the opposite of what the Creator created, which is the will to receive for oneself? How is it possible to revoke the work of the Creator called the will to receive and do the opposite? It seems as though a person is acting against the Creator. The answer is that men cannot revoke the will to receive that the Creator created. Why is it required of us to do everything for the sake of the Creator, since it is against our nature? However, there is the matter of light and vessel. CLE, a vessel is called desire, and desire is called a lack. Light is the filling of the lack. Rule is there is no light without a vessel, hence the creatures must provide for themselves a vessel, meaning a lack, for there is a rule that any lack pertains specifically to the creatures and not to the Creator. It follows that the creatures must perform actions and seek ways to find in themselves lack, which is that they want all their actions to be for the sake of their Creator, but they cannot. The creatures see and feel this lack of a desire to bestow, which they cannot obtain by themselves. However, in order for it to be clear that they cannot obtain the desire to bestow, creatures must first exert on their own otherwise, how will they know that they cannot obtain that lack by themselves? However, we should ask who needs this or is that man is incapable of obtaining the desire to bestow by himself. The answer is that man himself needs this awareness, otherwise he will not ask the Creator to help him, since he will think that he has time to do everything in order to bestow, since it is within his power to do everything in order to bestow whenever he wants. For this reason, man must first work by himself to obtain the desire to bestow, and only then can he make an earnest, heartfelt prayer, meaning have a real need for the salvation of the Creator, that he will give him this desire to do everything for the sake of the Creator. By this we can interpret what is written, happy are those who treasure his testimonies, would demand of him with all their hearts. We must understand the connection between his saying happy are those who treasure his testimonies, meaning that they observe the commandments of the Torah, and who demand of him with all their heart. As said above, we must obtain a need to feel we are lacking the desire to bestow before we obtain this, meaning before we obtain the desire to bestow, we are unfit to receive the light and pleasure that the Creator wants to give to the created beings. However, how can one obtain that lack? We are told that observing the commandments of the Torah, this can bring one this awareness that he must obtain the desire to bestow, that is by observing and commandments. When a person aims by observing the Torah and commandment to come closer to the Creator, meaning to achieve a teaching called equivalence of form, this can bring him to feel the lack of the desire to bestow. Written hap those who treasure his testimonies, mean that this will give him a lack after which will be able to ask the Creator to give him this lack. This is the meaning of the words who demand of him with all their heart, meaning that afterwards he can demand of the Creator to give him wholeheartedly, meaning to give him the desire to bestow, so that everything he does for the Creator will be with all his heart. It follows that then by observing he will come to a state where he can demand of the Creator to give him the quality of with all his heart, meaning that it will be for the Creator. In other words, he demands that the Creator will give him the desire to bestow, called with all his heart, since this is the only reward he demands in return for observing T and commandments. It follows that man's work is to obtain a lack and a need that the Creator will give him a desire to bestow, instead of the desire to receive that he has given him upon creation. Followed by this, he will be rewarded with a teaching with the Creator, although he asks for a different desire than the one that the Creator gave him. The Creator wants this said about this, that the Creator said, my sons have defeated me. They want a different desire than the one that the Creator gave them, meaning that they demand of the Creator to give them a different desire from the one he originally gave him, the will to receive that the Creator gave, which is called existence from absence, is the AIS of the whole of creation. However, will to receive must undergo correction, which is called the correction of creation. That is, creation is called the will to receive for oneself, and on it an intention to bestow is placed. Follows that in the end will to receive remains, but has acquired a correction of the aim to best. It follows that we should ask according to the above when a person begins to ask of the Creator to give him the desire to bestow, meaning to be able to do all his deeds for the sake of the Creator. Why does the Creator not give him the desire to bestow as the person demands and asks in the order of the work? We see that when a person wants to walk on the path toward obtaining the desire to bail, he sees that he's going backwards instead of forward. That is, the evil appears in him more intensely than it was disclosed in him while he was working in order to receive reward. The thing is that we must know that the desire to bestow is only the correction of creation and not the purpose of creation. For the purpose of creation is that his desire is to do good to his creations, meaning for the creatures to receive the light and pleasure if he gave them what they want right away, meaning the desire to bestow. They would be satisfied with the work that they are bestowing upon the Creator and habitation with the Creator. So what else do they need for anything for themselves? They need nothing, which is called desiring mercy, and they have no need to receive anything from the Creator. So the matter of the purpose of creation, which is his desire to give to them, would remain untouched. The purpose of creation, which is the objective, as it is known that everything is calculated according to the goal and not according to the means, for the desire to bestow is only a means by which to achieve the goal. So if he were to receive the desire to bestow, he would be satisfied with it, and the goal would remain as an unturned stone, since no one would need it, because they would already be satisfied in the work. This is as 'tis written in the book Ses fruit from all the above you find that the soul is destined to acquire all 620 holy names, its entire stature, which is 620 times more than it had before it came. Stature appears in the 620 commandments, where the light of the Torah is clothed, and the Creator in the collective light of the Torah. Teach you see that the Torah, the Creator, and Israel are one. This means that this is the purpose of creation, that a person must achieve his completion and be rewarded with the Torah in the manner of the names of the Creator. It is not enough that he wants to bestow upon the Creator, although this is a great thing. It is not the goal. Rather, men must achieve 620 times the amount that a soul had before it, clothed in a body. However, if he were to receive the desire to bestow immediately after a few prayers and litanies, he would have no need to obtain the goal for which he was created. This is a reason why a person does not receive the desire to bestow, and moreover he sees that he is receiving an even more excessive desire to receive than he had before he began the work on. However, we should understand why, after a person makes efforts to come closer to the Creator, which means equivalence of form, called adhesion, as it is written, and cleave on him, explained, cleave on to his attributes. As he is merciful, so you are merciful. It was enough that a person did not receive what he asked for, meaning the desire to bestow. But why is he now getting an excessive amount of the will to receive, each time more than he had before he prayed to be given the desire to bestow? Seems as though it is a mistake for an above, God forbid, as though it is thought above that he's asking for a desire to receive, and is therefore given the greater will to receive. But he asked for a desire to bestow, so why is he given from above a greater will to receive? The answer is that in order for him to need to receive the purpose of creation to be rewarded with the Torah, called the names of the Creator, each time a greater from above, a greater will to receive, to the extent he does things in order to achieve the desire to bestow, he receives from above a desire to receive. And since when he asks for help from above, since he sees that he cannot emerge from control, what is the help? It is as it is said in the Surah about the words, he who comes to be purified is aided. He asks, how is he aided? He replies, with a holy soul. If he is rewarded more, he's given. That is through the help he receives from above. He is rewarded with assistance until he obtains. This follows that each time he sees that he is more bad and must ask for greater help each time. This is as I heard from B said about what is written regarding Abraham, and he said unto him, I am the Lord to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, how will I know that I will inherit it? He said unto Abraham, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and they will be enslaved and tormented 400 years, and afterward they will come out with many possessions. He asked about the answer that the Creator gave him, how will I know that the people of Israel will be in exile in Egypt? This is the guarantee by which Abraham could know that after this act of being in a land that is not theirs, from this Abraham knew for certain that they would inherit the land. He asked, what is the answer? Meaning that Abraham understood that this was the right answer as we see Abraham could argue with the Creator in Sodom, where Abraham kept asking, perhaps, but here it is implied that he understood that this was the right answer and asked no. Further, he said that the answer was to the question that Abraham had asked. This is perplexing question about Abraham, of whom it is written, and he believed in the Lord. So why did he suddenly ask such a question as, how will I know that I will inherit? It said that Abraham saw what inheritance the Creator wants to give him, namely the inheritance of the land, and the whole purpose of creation is included in this land. But since there is a rule that there's no light without a vessel, meaning no filling without a lack, he therefore asked how it was possible that they would inherit the land when they have no need for it. As soon as they would receive some spiritual illumination, they will be satisfied and serve the Creator with gladness, and will not worry about anything, since they do not need more. They'll have no need to inherit the land, which is the purpose of creation. Therefore the question was that he did not see that they would have any need, and without a need nothing is given, especially something as serious as the inheritance of the land. This the Creator replied, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs. Land means desire. They will be under the rule of the to receive, which does not belong to the people of Israel but Egypt, and this is called a land that is not theirs, and they will be tormented for 400 years. 4 is a complete degree, which the four discernment of which are from was regarded as the vessels of Bolet. Follows that tormented means that the Egyptians did not let them work with vessels of bestow. They will be enslaved and tormented in what in 400 years, meaning in the of B it is known, but the number, and the number of is called units, is tens and is hundreds. This is the meaning of 400, that they were not permitted to work when they prevailed and work in the quality of B, which are vessels of bestow. They had a big war with the Egyptians. It follows that Egypt enslaved Israel when the people of Israel worked in a manner of bestow, and then they felt that they were in exile. But where we do not work with the vessels of bestow, we do not know that the Egyptians resist this work. This the meaning of what he says. And the children of Israel sighed from the work, and they cried out, and their cry went up to God from the work. That is, by asking for help, they had to be given new lights each time, as he says in the sword, that the help that is given from above is regarded as a holy soul, and by this the people of Israel will need the great lights, because otherwise they cannot emerge from the control of the Egyptians. Follows that the Creator's reply was that he would give them the need ask for help, which is that each time he will show them more bad, so they will constantly need to ask for bigger help. By this the light of the purpose of creation will be revealed to them. Let called this land to inherit it. It follows that they had received from above that desire to bestow when they asked for it. It follows that had they received from above the desire to bestow when they asked for it, they would have been content, have no need to inherit the land, since he gave them the desire to receive and not the desire to bestow. They received the need for the Creator's help, by which it became certain that they would not be satisfied, but would receive the inheritance of the land. It follows that specifically by being in a lonely state have caused them to receive the great lights. This explains why, when they wanted a desire to bestow, they were given a desire to receive, meaning that the world to receive grows where the L1s should have received a desire to bestow when they ask for it. A person cannot say that he sees that his prayer is not heard above, and the evidence of this is that he's not given the desire to bestow. Instead, he must know that his prayer is being considered, and the evidence for this is that he's given an answer from above by being given what is good for him now, since now will have a need for wholeness. According to the above, we should interpret what we asked. Why does the source say, and dawn on them? From meaning that because the dwellers have said that they did not want to receive. It illuminated to Israel and added to them much light and love. Likewise he appeared and showed and shown to them Israel from the Mount Pan, from the dwellers of Pan, saying that they did not want to receive this added extra love and illumination to Israel as it should be. We asked, can such a thing pertain to their Creator, meaning that in truth the children of Israel did not deserve to be given much light and love because they did not want to receive their Torah. For this reason he gave to Israel, meaning added to them, otherwise would not be able to add to Israel much light and love. When we speak of the work, we speak of one person, that is if the children of Ez and a person and the children of Ishmael in a person did not resist the Torah, but would agree to take upon themselves the desire to bestow the quality of Israel in a person, would be content and would not need the purpose of creation as mentioned in the Creator's reply to Abraham, saying, no, for certain not your descendants will be strangers, but specifically by being enslaved under the governance of Egypt, they will have a need to ask to be given help. Through the help it will be possible to reveal to them the purpose of creation. It follows that precisely when there is resistance in the body, when we do not want to receive the Torah, it enables the Creator to add to them much light and love. Are there any questions? Yes, it says in the text the person is incorporated with all 70 nations, has Ish and Israel. We learned more than once you can overcome the quality of the how. How do you work with the quality of Ishmael? How do you overcome the quality of Ishmael? Through the connection between us. We need to be connected, and by that we will be able to fit Ishmael. What's so special about the quality of Ishmael? That they are also special, and they have a connection with the Creator, and he is also ready, willing, in some cases, some reasons to help them, and their claim towards Israel is seemingly partially righteous, right, just. So that's why we're somewhat close and similar, somewhat, and therefore in their request there's certain justice. That's it. That's also why through their pressure upon us there's a certain seeming justification that we so-called deserve, as they say, because nevertheless we're not disconnected from them, and we never were disconnected from them. We were not disconnected. Yes. So what do we do? What do? We learn from their Torah what way we can separate from them and come closer to the Creator. They have connection, and some connection with the Creator. For us, we need connection to have contact with the Creator. So in what do we separate from them? Differentiated, separated from them by being able to observe the will of the Creator in a special way, and to thus depart from them and come closer to the Creator. The demand, do they want to rule over Israel or destroy Israel? Probably to destroy. Who doesn't want to destroy Israel? Everyone. Yes, so you say the remedy for that is the connection between us. Yes. How will the connection between us correct their desire? As well, the connection between us will correct the general state, because we are in the center of creation with our big desire, with our original big desire, and if we will want to demand for our desire to be corrected and filled by the upper light, then there's no greater problem. No, there they have some form of connection and contact with the Creator. Yes, when Israel is connected, how does that change their relationship with the Creator? What does it do to them? Does it change the character, the quality of the connection of Isma? We draw the attention of the Creator upon us, and we want to be closer to Him, and we want to observe the thought of creation and the truth according to our desire. Only we can fully do it. That's why this is how we correct the whole of creation. Then what happens to them? What happens to them? They receive a certain part that they deserve also for being in a process, also by observing something, and that's it. And they're satisfied, everyone satisfied, all the nations of the world, all the desires all together of receive filling. Yes, he opens the article, also closes it, by saying that the Creator wants to give to Israel love and light. Two things. Can you explain this thing that love, light to different things is unique in that we have to receive from the Creator this quality in order to be able to bestow it in return to the Creator, where we receive that quality of love from the Creator into our vessels, and then when we bestow to Him, we're actually bestowing already the light of love. Yes, when you used to draw the 4 phases of direct light, you would do like this, that the first phase receives 2 things from the Creator, the pleasure and the revelation of the quality of the Creator in that pleasure. 2 things are these the 2 things that the lower one receives from the upper one, both the filling and somehow in the filling he's gradually passed to the quality of the upper one. Yes, when the lower one gets it, and he writes he wants and demands and asks the Creator to help him and give him the quality, he's paying less attention to the feeling, but the quality, and he receives an answer from the Creator, which answer, now I will reveal more, that to you be able to ask for more help. That's the answer of the upper one to the request of the lower one. Well, let's say, yes, what is this? Practically, when you send us back to go pray and go connect and pray, these 2 actions, to the extent in which a person feels himself differentiated from the thought and purpose of creation, we need to feel that we're lacking connection and prayer. 2 things. Yes, what is this quality? The sons of Ish and sons of in the person. Those are qualities that are close to Israel, closer to Israel from the rest of the qualities and the desire to receive, and these qualities come to purify Israel, meaning to give Israel the feeling and discernments that are such that they will feel what they are lacking in order to come closer to the Creator. So, what do the sons of Ishmael lack? What would make them satisfied? All together, if we rise above the attraction towards the vessels of Ishmael and Esau, by that we give them the possibility to receive from the Creator according to those vessels, and they no longer come closer to us, and they don't want to destroy us, rather they become satisfied their existence in the world. From the beginning, it's only to push Israel forward, just like the existence of Israel is to push them towards the Creator, by for them to receive what they deserve for their resistance proposal made for this qualities Ish, and which they reject, which is called to. What are they rejecting? Their in fact, that's in order to best stow the intention in order to best. Why did they reject it? It's not according to their nature, not according to their spirit. They have certain attraction to the Creator. See also in internality and externality, of course, there's a drawing towards the attraction towards the Creator, but there's no attraction towards observing the conditions. So how do they grasp the Creator? As much as they can grasp a little through Israel, where they steal from Israel something from the connection to the Creator, and also a little from coming closer. Nevertheless, by Israel falling from time to time according to what is happening in Israel, they could steal. They can, exactly, they offered and reject. They say, no, I don't want this, give this to someone else. They want in order to bestow. Do they understand what it means in order to bestow? To actually refuse it. Yes, distancing from it, or it's only on from the side of negation, that there's nothing actually in it. Yes, exactly. And then when it's offered to Israel after it was offered to is, why then specifically after it was offered to is and Israel actually wanted, was the addition Israel received after Ish and rejected it, that Israel can then use the Torah, and they can use the Torah in a manner in which only they can use it. That is to receive it in order to bestow, and not any other way, only in order to keep it amongst them. What does that mean? That in that closeness between them, they establish and stabilize the vessel, and from this vessel come near to the Creator in such a way, in the collection, the group, in the is, in order to come to the bestow. That's what neither Ish nor have that difference. I wouldn't say it that way, but Rather, in many cases, the connection between them within them stems from hatred, it stems from negation, whereas in Israel only stems from love thy friend as thyself, and so on. Thank you. 10. I'll ask from another perspective. If Israel has connection is with the Creator, of course, then why do they have any demands to Israel? Let them ask and receive. Why aren't they satisfied with what they receive from the Creator? They want everything the Creator has not given them, everything somewhat not everything. What do they want, for which they demand from Israel they can receive from the Creator? But they come to Israel, they want everything that Israel receives, but they don't have the vessels to receive everything. And it's the same with Esau that causes the hate and the desire to destroy. This creates great hatred, and eventually they have to rise to connect between them in order to destroy Israel. So how can Israel solve this matter? Only by coming closer to the Creator and turning to Him. Has to take into account these qualities. How to take this quality into account when you want to come to connection? Correct connection out of love. Friend as yourself. What should be the attitude toward them? What to leave for them? What to ask for them? For this qualities, simply repress them completely. What's the relationship between them? It's written in Rashi and in other interpreters that the Creator seemingly gives all that is necessary to each and every nation according to its spiritual root, and it actually has no source for another claim. They have no source for this claim. Which kind? For the next claim, meaning what they reive. Yek, meaning what they received is what they will receive. But we see that they have a demand that's a different claim, that they want through the struggle with Israel to benefit for themselves, meaning these qualities simply want to receive what the Creator wants to give to Israel, but in order to receive, and we need to somehow over that in the connection among the nation of Israel. Is it possible the nation of Israel also has these qualities? No, within the people of Israel these qualities do not exist. The people of Israel are actually the most naked. How to use these qualities that exist, those external desires, and in order to receive their very big. How can the people of Israel were small and weak? What should they do with it? Only to get the Creator and to rise with Him to the highest heights. One has no other chance also in being saved from death, destruction, etc., but also to reach correction. Pressure that is felt from this quality, from these nations that have this just demand. This pressure has felt is very scary to Israel, because the need to reach to such a degree, but in order to bestow. Is this what these qualities are supposed to awaken in me? They give me a feeling of how much desire there is in reality in order to receive from this pressure of reaching their sin level the same degree, but in sacrifice, and bestow to the Creator. This is how I'm supposed to use the feeling that they're giving me. Yes, in an inversion again, Mike. So why the people of Israel don't want to come closer to the Creator? If that's the only solution, coming closer to the Creator is not given to us by our nature, because we receive rejection to such and in such a natural way, that coming near to the Creator we can only if the Creator attracts us. The only solution for Israel against all the hate is simply to ask and come closer to the Creator. So Israel hears it and says, okay, that's fine, we move to something else. We don't stay on that point where only this is the solution and this is the effort, and there's nothing but that. That's called in order to bestow in faith above reason. We need to pray for that all the time and expect the help of the Creator. So Israel needs to reveal that it's unable to even be in that thought, and to ask for to be in prayer to it, least be connected to this idea. The demand toward Israel is concretely against Israel or all the nations of the world. No, towards Israel. What's their demand from the nations of the world? Do they have any demand, meaning a request, a prayer, a request from Ish or from all the nations of the world? The prayer for the nations of the world, for them to enter into the path of the Creator, that's what you mean. What is the demand of Ishma from the nations of the world, and what is their demand from Israel? I didn't understand. Does Ishma have any demand from the nations of the world? Not so much so. No. If yes, then he goes to battle with them on the corporal. What is Ish's demand from Israel? That is already a struggle for the inheritance of the land. That's already something. And when will Ish be truly satisfied? Is there such a state? No, they will only be satisfied when we reach a state in which we receive the desire to bestow and the desire to receive distances us and they receive it. Israel is working in connection out of fear from Ishmael. It would be desirable for it to be from fear of their Creator. You said that Israel, nation of Israel, is as naked of these qualities. Where will he get those qualities from prayer to the Creator until the end of correction? Ishmael and Israel are expected to be in constant friction with Ish, yes, all the way to the end. It's yes, and also the nations of the world will join as well. Will join, yes, they will join. It's written that all the nations of the world will rise against Israel. He wrote in the article that the Creator is revealing the bad to them, so they will ask for greater help. Yes, so according to this mechanism, how to go on this path where there's always Ish, always bad, but together with it we ask for help, meaning accept it as a reality, not in the form of, oh, we beat them and now we don't have to work with them. How do work in this middle line approach that we have a constant quarrel conflict with them and we have to constantly connect against them. I don't think we need to come close to that for us to have a permanent dispute, etc. No, we need to only think about our coming closer to the Creator. The war is a war against the evil inclination, and we need to come to a state in which all the forces of nature are joined to us in order to come closer and adhere to the Greater. No, the war is not against Ishma, but against inclination. No, yes, and what is a triumph? The triumph is that we rise above the evil inclination and connect everyone to being. So thank you, Ken. Yes, I look at the people of Israel. I'm very frustrated. How can you even connect this thing? My question is, dear, can we do something? And not externally speaking about the semination. Of course, the semination constantly flows outwardly. Internally, can we do something in order to soften the opposition, the hate in this among the people? No, until we turn our intention to our hearts, to our internality, we will always be in a dispute between us and a quarrel with all the nations of the world, especially with Esau and we can't do anything about it. Is that what you're saying? We can do what we need to educate ourselves, that the connection between us will define the new world order. Meaning, if what you're saying is that here is not enough to create a certain new reality in the nation of Israel, they don't have the power for it. We need all the people of Israel. No, 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 of course this is a desirable, but it's not realistic. We need to come closer to all the parts of the people of Israel and to explain to them what the connection between us is considered and how this connection raises us to the highest degree. There's an open channel. There's dissemination still. It doesn't penetrate their people. Correct. It looks like only blows will give us to such a agreement. It's possible have to agree to it, to the blow, not to agree, but to make it such that in place of the blows we will do the work. There's nothing to be done. Writes in the last paragraph that Ish and resist they object, and then he gives the reason for their objection. So we will have a deficiency later, and then he goes to the Egyptians that as a promise to of the Creator to be in Egypt. What's the difference? What where? Suddenly the Egyptians come from that new discernment. Why do we have to be under the rule of Egypt and not the rule of and Ish? For example, they the ones who resisted. No, the Egyptians or something else. Yes, so what does he write? That we have to be under the rule, the governance of Egypt, that without being under the governance we won't have a need to ask for help from the Creator. Yes, because Moses seemingly is also under the control of the Egyptians. Egyptians is the upper force. Israel receives the permission to leave the exile only by the Egyptians. Well, will we yet to talk about this? There is such a force in nature. It turns out that the resistance of and Israel will always be here. Otherwise we won't get to the purpose of creation. Yes, with their help we could say. So what we can do is to have this resistance as internal as possible and not external. To the point kind of subject matter. Is it really possible to have this resistance only internally, and not to have any conflict externally? Or the world is built in such a way that the world that we have to have that also in corporality both so it has to be. I don't know, you're asking me what will be in the future. For the time being we see the conflict is external, yes, but I don't necessarily think that it has to be in the corporeal world, but rather more in relation to the spiritual world. There is such a justification. It says this is nature. You need to have resistance, so have resistance on the outside as well. I have no idea about the future and what will be. I am not on such a degree that I can say, Ken. Yes, many people are looking at the war taking place on the outside and say it's not a war of land, it's an ideological war. You also speak this way. Sometimes they present it as you know simplistically as a war between the good and evil, but in another way they say there's a people here who sanctifies life versus the people who sanctifies death. There's something in the root of the people of Israel, because you feel that the people of Israel are a nation who sanctifies life in many ways. Is there a spiritual root for that? The will to bestow love your friend as yourself, and so on, all of those things that are the foundation of the Torah, the foundation of taking the other into consideration that belongs to the nation Israel, the correct way by which we should understand the line. And you chose life. If you're speaking towards, you have chosen meaning in our life, so it's only the love of Israel. What that mean? To develop the connections of love between us, and through those connections of love we can attain everything. In the article he explains this process, that the more you want to desire to bestow, you receive the opposite. That's how the Creator builds in us. He gives us blows and all that. So what's the difference between these two kinds of blows? If we don't ask correctly, we receive blows because we didn't ask correctly. You receive, if we ask correctly, you receive blows in order to build in us this vessel. So what's the difference between these two kinds? Sufferings to teach us how to ask, but in externality, how is that expressed? We receive torments either way in the nation of Israel. No, we see a big difference between the two blows that come from love and blows that come as punishment and hate. Who is us who can distinguish between the two? Our will to receive, what is it directed towards? Let's try and feel the Creator's attitude towards us. Does it come from hate or from love? We who study are supposed to feel now that we're receiving blows, and that's because we're not aimed correctly. We inside the people of Israel, yes, and if we were correctly, we would feel the blows, but feel love out of them. Yes, can you expect someone who's not studying to feel this? Yes. Also no. He said that Ismail sanctify death, but they expect the next world. So the point that we're supposed to come from love, we also have a process of building fear first in the people of Israel. Yes, so what's the difference between wanting to be rewarded with the next world and having fear from the Creator being great and ruling? Can you elaborate on this point again? We say that the greatest fear is that the Creator is great and ruling. So if you can explain before it brings to love, what is special about that point, that the Creator is great and all controlling, means that we have to perform His will without any questions and any answers. There to keep His desires the way it's opened before us, the people of Israel, too, before they come to love of others, love of friends. They have a point of fear that they have to maintain as well, because we say the Israelites sanctify the fear that they will be with the next world. They have an issue with this. So in the people of Israel, shifting from the sphere to a more internal one, that the Creator is great and willing. How is it expressed in our inner workation between us and the Creator? That all the actions we do, then will be actions of love pure, love thank. You writes here a desire to be called. With all his heart, what does it mean? With all his heart you have a good heart, a bad heart each one. This part, that part from all, the heart means from all. The desires, the heart is all your desires. No. What? Ask besides light and vessel and the screen between them, is there nothing I don't know? Question, there are 4 kinds of love. Self-love, love of others, love of people, and love of the Creator. How do we shift from one to the other? Thank you, I think so. 2. What does it mean to do the Creator's will in a pure way? I guess not, in order to receive, not to aim it towards us. H4. What is the difference between the force of Ishbel and the force of yes? 1 is in order to receive, but also from 2 contradicting lines, right and left. Okay, so that was this question. So Israel is the midline between them, between the right and the left. From C4, saying that the friends are making the work difficult. Is this an expression of my will to, of the growth of my will to receive? Don't understand. Again, seeing that the friends make the work more difficult. Is this an expression of the growth of my will to receive? Yes, that affects, is thank. It's written meaning of saying demand him with all his heart, meaning that afterwards he can demand of the Creator to give him with all his heart, meaning to give him a desire to bestow. So everything he does for the Creator will be with all his heart. What does it mean to demand from the Creator with all his heart? I don't know, but from all the heart a person feels all of his heart, and from all that, so all of those desires he turns to the Creator. Is this a demand from within, from the heart? How can we realize this? Fiend, I don't know. I told you already, I don't know, but I guess he really has a feeling that it came from all his heart. Thank you. Here the Creator gives Abraham a promise. With the help of difficult ites they will get to the promised land, and this is called love and illumination. Right? Yes. And if I have behavior, how can I interpret if my friend does something to receive a holy soul? Is this right for me to behave this way toward him if he does good right actions towards the holy soul? So I also have to do that. That's it. Wasn't clear. Can he repeat, please? I don't understand the question. Can he repeat, please? If in the 10 I have to love the friends, and this love is the love of the Creator toward Israel, can I, in a state of stress, can I place a friend in place of stress if he's asking for a holy soul? I don't understand the question. What you understand it? What decree made it difficult for the people of Israel, but the Creator made it difficult on Abraham in order to advance him to Israel. So he wants to know if we can relate this way to the friends in the 10. No, we can't do things like the upper force is doing with us. We can just get help, love, and support. That's it. So no more questions, and we only have a lot on the screens. C7. Thank you. If in the text, I would like to know if is and Ishma they serve the purpose of showing us the motive of what not to do. No, completely. No, can you explain, please? What? Explain. The role of each one of them is to show us what doesn't belong to us. It is said that man's desire grows after he yearns for holiness. Is this something repetitive that repeats itself 63 times? Yes. 1 yes. C 1 yes. Thank you. Said that we have to organize ourselves in such a way that the connection between us will determine a new world order. How do you perceive this new world order, and how should we organize ourselves so that the connection between us will determine it? Every day, every man on earth will feel that he's entering new relationships with everybody, because through these new relationships he relates differently to the Creator, and that's how he rises on the degrees. What is the Creator with respect to all the people in the world? I don't know the upper force, and what are relations that every person in the world needs to get into. For good morning, love friends. What does It means that the Creator appears to the people of Ish from and to the people of from that. Soon briefly, the Creator helps everybody including the sons of and is to come out of the shells and reach connection